last Monday, the dreadful Gurdaspur attack. And what did we see over there? Policemen with nothing but their courage intact, getting those terrorists eliminated. No bulletproof jackets, very poor weaponry in many cases, very poor tactical sense in many cases. 2015, is this where the Indian Jawan is? On the program this evening, bulletproof jackets, a basic requirement, and we'll tell you a story with a real difference. It's not that we can't make bulletproof jackets in India. In fact, we make some of the best bulletproof jackets in the world, but we export them. We also supply them to our forces, but the process of procurement is dreadfully slow. Is this outdated procurement process the real problem? Also on this program, we will tell you the irony of it all. Indian manufacturers of world-class bulletproof jackets provided to the German army, to the British army, to French forces, to police forces in the United States. It's good enough for them, but apparently it still needs more time to be accepted by our police forces. Meanwhile, the police don't use bulletproof jackets in some instances at all. It costs about 1 lakh rupees per kit. World-class kit. Is a Jawan's life worth less than the 1 lakh rupees it costs? One of the most shocking images from the Gurdaspur terrorist encounter. A Punjab policeman with no bulletproof jacket and no helmet fires his antique self-loading rifle against terrorists equipped with AK-47 automatic rifles. Here, a heavily built cop waddles across a zone of gunfire, his rifle dangling by his side, again wearing no protective equipment. Policemen who fought terrorists in Gurdaspur tell us the special weapons and training or SWAT forces leading the charge did indeed have bulletproof vests. The rest of them who didn't would apparently rely on these men as their shields, a bizarre policing technique by any definition. Why, in 2015, are our policemen less protected than soldiers fighting the First World War a century ago? Believe it or not, there are solutions right under our nose. And here's the irony. Did you know that India is considered a world leader in body armor technology? Did you know that bulletproof jackets and helmets built to the highest specifications of personal protection are not just built in India, but exported to more than 230 forces in over 100 countries? Among the users, the British, German, Spanish and French armies, and police forces stretching from Japan in the east to the US in the west. Building body armor or bullet-resistant helmets isn't rocket science. In fact, there is technology easily available in our country through world-class companies which have the installed capacity to meet the requirements of the police, paramilitary and the Indian Army in a little bit more than a year. But here's a strange irony. In Gurdaspur, like in so many other cases, there were many journalists who had bulletproof vests and bulletproof helmets. There were many policemen who didn't have it. When will we have a situation when the word police, goes on to bulletproof jackets for our policemen across the country? The lack of a helmet cost this man, Baljit Singh, a Punjab police SP, his life. Undaunted by the Gurdaspur terrorists, Baljit challenged the terrorists to come out and fight. Instead, they shot him dead.
He wore the bulletproof jacket, but he has a turban on the head, so he didn't worn any helmet on the head. He alone, he said his ASI to get aside, I'll handle those people. And he is bravely shouting, come out, face to face, I'll fight face to face.
Here at Kanpur-based MKU, India's largest manufacturer of body armor, the biggest problem often lies with the mindset of the police forces that they have to deal with.
Most of our police forces, or rather the reserve police as well in the states, are mostly equipped for anti-riot protection, but not for the such anti-terrorist operations. They are not equipped for facing these kinds of threats. There has to be deep thinking over this issue within the policymakers.
According to estimates, there is a standing requirement of at least 50,000 bulletproof kits in India's police forces, but there is never a clear indicator since individual states handle their own law and order decisions and rarely spell out a requirement until they finally come out with a tender. But the problems really begin when the acquisition process begins. Deadlines for acquisition are frequently extended. State forces refuse to reveal the methodology they use in assessing the capability of a particular system. Vendors looking to sell to police forces have serious questions with the evaluation process. Vendors often have to wait indefinitely for answers to queries that they may have. And all this happens even before price negotiations have begun with a shortlisted vendor. And so the wait continues. In 2001, policemen battling terrorists who attacked Parliament used pistols. During 2611, the lathi-wielding cops were no match to the likes of Kasab. And now in 2015, there remain two constants: the bravery of India's policemen and the fact that they remain poorly armed and poorly protected. Does anyone care? Vishnu Shom for NDTV.